Hello, family. So you saw the title. Today, we're talking about a not safe for work, or definitely not safe for children topic. Today we're talking about Tantra. And I'm going to be mainly focusing on Tantra for males because obviously I'm a male, and a precursor to this is that I have not tried it with a partner yet, other than one time when I was younger and I happened upon this sexual experience that was very spiritual, and we ended up being very tantric, mechanical, rhythmic, and it was about the feeling of the sex rather than the pinnacle of the sex. And I can honestly say that that's the only time that it was purely like that. All other times, I've had times that were kind of close to that or whatever, but in general, tantric sex felt to me, and we did this unconsciously, it felt to me like it was just about the sexual experience itself, about pleasing each other, tuning into each other's energy. And on top of that, we didn't have to tell each other what to do, and it felt like everything sort of fell together. And then as we went out of it, and after both of us had climaxed, as we went out of that, it was like I came back to my body. I didn't realize that I left my body, actually, until afterwards, until I did come back into my body, and I was like, whoa. Okay, that was different, and I actually didn't realize until a few years later what had happened during that sexual experience as I had more sexual experiences. So anyways, tantric sex, yeah, like I said, is very automatic. It's very thoughtless, very wordless. No need to tell each other what to do or anything like that. Your energy is just matching so wonderfully and you're just so into the experience of it itself that there's no focus on finishing or anything. You lose yourself completely in it. Now, that was completely unconscious. I didn't know how it happened. He didn't know how it happened. It just happened. Deliberately doing tantric sex, that is something I'm working on manifesting right now. Getting into how to practice tuning into your sexual or kundalini energy as a man through, obviously, masturbation is what I've been practicing it with these past few months. And practically what you have to do is you have to control your orgasm, and you have to control the orgasmic energy as it builds. So this way you're focusing on the actual energy, the sexual energy itself, rather than just the orgasm. And that generally tends to be the goal, especially, I don't know how it is in the Eastern world, but I'm assuming here in the Western world, it's predominantly focused on the climax. And just biologically, we're focused on the climax because of the nature of reproduction and such, which is another wonderful intention of what we call homosexuals, is that there's a sort of relief from that need to just reproduce. But heterosexual couples can also practice this too, and I'm sure Tantra originated heterosexually. I haven't done much research on the history and the specifics. All I know is the practice of tuning the energy and what the general intention of tantric sex is supposed to be. Now, Tantra itself isn't just sexual. It's a focus on your life force energy, and again, it's another way of becoming present and enjoying the process and enjoying your life force, tuning into your life force, really. But what we're going to be talking about today is specifically the orgasmic energy that you're tuning into, and a way for specifically males to do this. Females, I haven't looked into that, but find that on YouTube, and I hope that my description of tantric sex sort of gives you an idea of what Tantra is like in general in a sexual experience, and knowing that it's more about the focus on the energy of you and the person and the flow and the rhythm of the experience. So anyways, the practice for males during masturbation would be that you have to get yourself up to a point of where you're almost about to orgasm. And you feel the sexual energy building in your root chakra area. If you don't know what chakras are, I recommend that you look them up and get associated generally with them, because that is where the sexual energy flows. It starts from the root chakra, flows up through the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and then out through the crown. That's when you have a full orgasm. So what we're doing when we're practicing Tantra by ourselves through masturbation is we are getting ourselves up to what was recommended about 60 to 80% orgasm, and obviously we don't have a wristwatch for this yet, so we need to become intuitive with that. You know your body, and I'm sure most of you males out there have enough masturbation and sexual experience that you know when it's about to happen, and you have to stop yourself. You have to stop yourself from the actual masturbation physically and start tuning into and feeling that sexual energy. The first few times you may or may not end up ejaculating, and that's okay, because then you can let it rebuild and go at it again. Once you become more successful at letting the sexual energy build in your root chakra, and what I even I'm starting to do now as I get more and more able to control my orgasm. In other words, I can keep going with the masturbation until, 90-95% now. And you can even start to feel the orgasmic energy in your glands or the head of the penis and sort of send it down your shaft into your root chakra. I know this is a little graphic, but hey, this is a fun topic, and it's another way of tuning into source energy. So, like I said, when you're just beginning, you're gonna wanna just focus on that sexual energy building in your root chakra area. And when you get to that 60 to 80% orgasm, you can stop yourself and press on the under the scrotum to keep yourself from coming. I haven't had to do that too much, and you may not have to, or you may have to if you find that ejaculation is very hard for you to control, especially at first. Whether or not you have to press on the part under the scrotum or the gooch or whatever you want to call it, you want to focus on the energy that is building down there. And what you do is you start pulling that energy upwards towards your sacral chakra, through it to the solar plexus, through to the heart, up through the chest, into the neck, and up through your face, into your third eye. But don't go past that. Into your third eye, and you may or may not, your first time, experience an orgasm without ejaculation. Or, my first few times, I actually did get the sexual energy all the way from my root to my third eye, but when I got it to my third eye, I ejaculated, even though I wasn't continuing to masturbate. Pretty cool. It was really cool to see that sort of hands-free action going on there. But once you get really good at controlling the sexual energy and controlling the orgasmic energy in your root chakra, you can have full-blown orgasms without ejaculating. And about the third or fourth time I started being able to do that. It was really, really cool to have a full-blown orgasm without ejaculating. And what happens is that it almost keeps it in your third eye area, and very little energy escapes through the crown, because obviously you're not ejaculating. That's when the ejaculation happens, is when it gets to the crown. And like I said, once you get really, really good at that, you can start pushing it a little bit more and continue masturbating until you're about 90-95%. And again, feeling that orgasmic energy, not even just in the root, but actually at the tip of your penis. And you can actually move the energy downward through the shaft into the root, and it charges it more. And you can start sending more and more sexual energy up and having bigger and bigger and longer orgasms without ejaculation, as you get better and better at controlling the sexual energy and controlling the ejaculation itself. And then finally, when you let yourself fully orgasm, fully ejaculate, it's wild. It's amazing. Like, it's not only just your body shaking, which it probably will be, but you're vibrating. You can feel your energy vibrating because you've allowed yourself to have 2, 3, 4 orgasms before you actually ejaculate. And that final ejaculation becomes so much more powerful and a much bigger release. It's really, really, really cool stuff. Again, practically what this is doing is helping you tune more intimately into the sexual energy itself, placing your awareness on that sexual energy as it builds in your root and moving it up to the third eye and having an orgasm without ejaculating. And as you get better and better at this and more practice, you can have more and longer orgasms without ejaculation, and therefore build up more sexual energy for the ejaculation itself. And you actually get to enjoy the process of masturbation a lot more and get to enjoy the sexual energy that you're getting in tune with more than just focusing on the ejaculation itself. On top of the fact that it feels really good. It feels really, really good. And as you again, get better and better, you can start integrating breath. What I've started doing more recently, other than being able to focus on the energy in the tip of the penis and moving it through my shaft, is also integrating breaths. So as I'm preparing myself to move the sexual energy from my root and building up that sexual energy in my root chakra, what I'm doing is also preparing my breath, taking an out breath. And as I breathe in is when I start bringing that sexual energy from my root to my third eye. And when you get to that full in breath and bring it to your third eye, amazing orgasms, and you obviously exhale when you get to the third eye. So another thing, again, is integrating the breath to building up that sexual energy, and then through inhale, pulling it upwards, and then releasing with exhale. And then again, the more and more you do this, the more that you can continue masturbating while using the sexual energy, while orgasming, even without the ejaculation. I've even gotten myself to the point where I can have an orgasm while masturbating without ejaculating. It's really, really cool. And then again, that final orgasm where I actually allow myself to ejaculate is oodles more powerful, and it's really awesome. I'm very excited to try this very deliberately with my sexual partners, and maybe even teaching them, for the fact that we can share more intimate focus, more deliberate focus on the sexual energy itself. And I think what this allows you to do is tune into the other person's energy more and know what they're asking for more, knowing what's going to please them intuitively more. Yeah, it's just another way of tuning into life force or source energy. What we were talking about is the sexual aspect of Tantra, specifically for males, masturbation practice for males. As I learn more about this, I'll probably post another video as I experience it with more partners, hopefully teaching them how to do it and teaching them how to tune into my energy and tuning into their energy more. And obviously, again, getting back to having more frequent sexual experiences that are sort of what that one experience I described to you in the beginning was like, where it was we were just focused on the actual rhythm of the sex and pleasing each other and just being present, and it was very thoughtless. So yeah, I hope you took something from this, especially if you're a male, and if you're a female, I hope you still took something from it, because Tantra is really cool, and I'm really glad that I've like learned this practice and learned how to like tune into my sexual energy, because now I can enjoy masturbation without ejaculating at all, and it actually energizes me for the rest of the day. And I think this is why, for females, learning Tantra is a little bit different, because females are more internally focused. They are more focused on the sexual energy itself anyways, meaning that a lot of times females do not ejaculate when they have an orgasm, and therefore that's why they can keep going after an orgasm more so than guys can, more commonly. Some guys can keep going. I've kind of always have been able to, but this is definitely helping, and I'm very excited to try it out with somebody. And yeah, again, if you're a female and you didn't find the meat of this very helpful, no pun intended, go and check out a couple of videos on YouTube to see more femininely focused sexual Tantra instructions. So yeah, I hope this wasn't awkward, but yeah, love you guys.